I swear to God, I didn't want to do this story because it affected me. It's truly a disgusting story. Viewer discretion is advised. I don't want to ruin your day today. Why did this story affect me? Because I'm an animal person. I have 3 cats and I literally feed about 1 million animals outside each day. Even though I'm a very poor person, I really try my best to take care of these animals and do the right thing in life. On September 12, 1916, residents of Keyport, Tennessee would pack the main street. Why? Because a circus named Sparks' world-famous shows was coming to town. Usually they do an amazing show and at the end have a grand finale. As the circus entered town, it was basically a parade. It was just amazing. They had horses, jugglers, everyone was dancing. Pa-dum-pum-pum, pa-dum-pum-pum. But the best part was the elephants. There were 5 elephants, each one walking one behind the other, wrapping their trunks with each other's tail. And the star of the show was the one in front, Mary. The owner of the circus, Charlie Sparks, advertised Mary as the largest land animal alive in the world. And she probably was. She weighed over 5 tons. Charlie had her ever since she was a baby. He had taught her many tricks. He had taught her how to stand on her head. He had taught her how to play 25 songs on a trumpet. And he had taught her how to throw a baseball. Charlie loved Mary. She was his ticket to success. You see, Charlie was competing against other larger circuses, but he was okay because he had Mary and she always brought him a huge crowd. Everyone was so jealous of the man riding her handler, Red Edridge. Ba-dum-bum-bum. As the parade came to an end, Red Edridge would take Mary to the pond to drink some water. Red Edridge was a brand new employee. As a matter of fact, he was just hired the other day when Charlie was passing through Virginia. Red Edridge was a janitor. Why would you hire a janitor to take care of an elephant like that? Everyone that worked at the circus was real nice to the animals, but Red, he was a real piece of, if you know what I mean. Anyway, as Mary was going to the pond to drink some water, she would see a watermelon on the ground. She would do like any elephant would, stop and eat it. So a crowd formed around her, watching her eat it, and Red was getting upset. You see, Red was abusing this animal for the past 24 hours. So this time he pulled out a metal rod and he hit her right behind the ear. And she went crazy. She was a very gentle animal, but she just couldn't take his abuse for the past 24 hours. So she grabbed him with her trunk and threw him at a drink stand. When the crowd saw this, they were screaming, "Ah! Ah!" And Red was like this on the ground. Exactly like that. But Mary, she wasn't done with Red. She had enough of his abuse. So she walked up to him, lifted her legs, and fell right on his skull. Kaboom! Red died instantly, brains all over the place. Charlie heard all this commotion near the pond, so he ran to see what was going on. Then he would see Mary terrified, so he would run up to her and comfort her. "You all right, girl? You all right, girl?" And all of a sudden, he would see Red's mangled body. He was in shock, and the townspeople had returned, and they also saw the body. So they all started screaming at Mary, "Murderer! Murderer!" This was a complete disaster for poor Charlie, because Mary was his star. She was his breadwinner, and everyone had seen her publicly kill her handler. Matter of fact, people tried to kill her themselves. They had to be held back. The sheriff even shot at her. But she was so big and her skin was so tough, it didn't even penetrate. And the town Charlie was supposed to visit next sent word to Charlie, Mary's not allowed. Charlie was sad because he loved Mary. As a matter of fact, I was sad. Because we all knew Red had abused Mary. Why couldn't he just be nice to her? I never get why people are cruel to animals. Anyway, Charlie stayed up all night just thinking, what am I gonna do? Then an idea finally hit him. So he got up early the next day and he told his crew, everyone on the train, we're going to the next town, Irwin, and we're gonna perform a show that no one has ever seen before. And I mean has never ever seen before. Charlie's Circus arrived in Irving at 10 a.m. and I mean that town was flooded with people. People came from other towns to see the show because word had gotten out that Charlie was going to give a grand finale that no one has ever seen before. And by midday the parade started. But Mary wasn't part of the parade. She was actually chained up in the circus area. So after the parade was done, the show started in the circus area. But Mary was still chained up. She was confused and looking around as the show was taking place. And she was just chained up in the center. As the show would come to an end, Charlie would tell the crowd, now it's time for the grand finale. Everyone, head over to the railroad tracks. And everyone went. Even the press was there because everyone knew something was going down and they were ready to take their pictures. And then he told the handlers, bring out the other 4 elephants. And then they untied Mary. And all 5 elephants did their usual, trunks on the tails, and headed over down to the railroad tracks. Once they got to the railroad tracks, Charlie told the handlers, take the other 4 elephants back. Now Charlie would start comforting Mary. You are right, girl. You are right, girl. And Mary truly loved Charlie. She would let him do anything he wanted to her. And as he was comforting her, one of the handlers went up to the railroad tracks and tied her back legs to the railroad tracks. And then one of the railroad workers got on a machine called a derrick and brought it right behind her. Now it's time. A worker would get on top of the derrick, pull the chain down, and tie it around Mary's neck. Then they would all step back. And then Charlie would look at the guy inside of the derrick and say, go. And then they would pull Mary by the neck. And she would start screaming, Charlie! Charlie! I'm sure she was saying that in elephant language. Charlie's grand finale was Mary's public execution. How sick was that? Charlie was never the same afterwards, and he died in 1944. Till this day, Irwin, Tennessee is known as the town that hung the elephant. I'm Ahmed Bassioni, and I wanted to thank you guys for watching today's video. God bless you. I owe you guys one. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm out of this joint.